Hey everybody, my name is Ito, and welcome back for a little bit more Mountain Dew League action. I'll be honest, I actually wasn't expecting the map to be Dust 2, but it looks like vetoes have actually come into play, and it is going to be Dust 2. Usually we have like a veto sheet that I can go ahead and read off of here, but no. As we head right into the game, we're already basically through the knife round, where New England Whalers, have been absolutely massacring the Ethereal side. And, well, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I really wasn't expecting it to end on D2. I don't think of this as exactly a wonderful map for the side of X-Polar Ace or Ethereal. Either way, they're swappable names for some reason on the HLTV side of things. They're known as X-Polar Ace, but this is Ethereal. And by the way, just want to say thank you to basically everybody. I'm looking at the chat at the moment. You guys have left some pretty nice messages, so I appreciate it. Should be a good cast. Honestly, I think this is going to be an interesting game, even though I have, again, looked through the vetoes and they don't seem that wonderful. I'm hoping that maybe the side of Ethereal can go ahead and try to surprise us. New England Whalers, they're incredibly scary. 13-0 in this regular season, I believe. You have yet to be defeated. Closest one who's given them a call has been Team 1, who is pretty much the other almost undefeated team. So, Ethereal, it's going to be an uphill climb for them. As they start on the T side of play, you're just going to be watching Omniscient. Actually, probably lead the charge in. Right now, he's just watching Cat as his teammate starts pushing up here over towards B. Not too much to exactly keep an eye on. There is Nox who's just waiting outside, going to cross out into relative safety. Slow play from Ethereal so far. It seems that they're going to be going for an A split, just kind of judging by these positions, but it's good that Nox isn't exactly committed to one area or another. Thing is, he has the flash and the smoke that's really going to help for an execute, so I'm expecting maybe a pop-up. Or the smoke TC. Oh, wow, are they actually trying to fake a CT push here? This is actually really interesting. I'm liking this, but New England Whalers don't seem to be at all surprised by it. Poen alone on the site will tap down too. I know we have some Poen alone fans, and this is exactly why he has so many. 3 one-taps in the round. Rampage snatches 2 away as well. And if you do 3 plus 2, you'll get 1 round for New England Whalers. What a sick round. Oh, just the discipline on those one-taps as well. I really kind of like the approach that Ethereal were doing, too. Like, I don't think it was necessarily a bad idea. Nox tossing that smoke and flash over towards mid really kind of faked things up. And it could have actually spotted New England Whalers off guard a bit if it wasn't for players like Rampage and Poen alone just absolutely crushing it. But regardless, that will be the first round going the way of the Whalers. They are known for crazy plays like this, and they definitely do not disappoint. The second round won't amount to much of anything either. That was a force, however, from Ethereal. You would just never be able to tell with how lackluster it was. I know we have someone named Shutout in the chat, and I can tell you right now, that was your namesake, man. That was a complete shutout over towards A-Long. 6-0 for Poen alone. I'm sure he's looking to buff up those numbers. He's going to have another good chance at it considering the pistols that are in play. B-Wills will go ahead and just take a gander over towards Long. The action is actually happening over towards lower tunnels. How is this already happening? There's barely any time off the clock. I don't get any chances to breathe. I don't get any time to think. And I'm pretty sure Ethereal, with how suffocating the New England Whalers are playing at the moment, they don't get any chances either. Another round in the books. 1:30 on the clock as it strikes through. And New England Whalers are looking to speedrun D2. Oh my god, pure and utter carnage. Really, at this point, I'm hoping that Ethereal can pop up with a round. This is going to be their best chance to do it, at least obviously so far in this game, but this is pretty much going to be the only time where New England Whalers are perfectly content only playing with like MP9s. They do have an AUG and an M4, but I'm not 100% sure if that's something they're really going to be, exactly relying on all too much. Already DJ's basically out of the picture for now as the fight has begun over towards Long A and quickly will end in a trade 1-for-1. However, the bomb is pushing up catwalk. Powers with a Krieg in hand. It's a sentence I haven't had to say in a while. It doesn't feel like it's often that we see the Krieg anymore. But double AWP as well for Ethereal, so really confident taking these long-range duels, I suppose. But Poen alone, he's 7-0. Perhaps he can make it 8-0 with the advent of Powers walking into him. That smoke, I don't think did much of anything. Powers, I believe, spotted Powers. Or, excuse me, Poen alone, I believe, spotted Powers, rather. I'm pretty sure Power spotted himself. 8-0. How many can we count up to before he's eventually taken out, man? Pwn alone is absolutely unstoppable, and I love to see it. He's one of the most impressive players, I have to think, at this point. He reminds me of Grim in some ways, as he's now continued on to 9. Is he seriously going to get to double digits off of this round alone? The last player, Hate, is just waiting, but Ethereal have ground this round, as you would imagine, down to a halt. It has been ground down to a halt since they basically tried pushing up Cat. Hate, despite trying to push for a little bit more, will again feed himself to the beast, as Pwn alone has yet to die. Double digits in 4 rounds as we enter number 5. Pwn alone has a new toy to play with. He'll give it over to Ben Lee. He's a man who shares because he cares, and he'll just go ahead and take the sniper instead. 10-0. That is unreal. But he's kind of farmed a couple of eco kills. That was a full-on rifle round from Ethereal, but again, you would never be able to tell. It just kind of felt like they were ground down to a halt. Once they wanted to begin their push out, you know, that smoke in, it seems that maybe they wanted to try to drop into CT, but it never even got past the starting line. Rampage will actually begin this next massacre for us here as he holds double doors. He will be quickly put out of commission. B-Bulls will be second up, but wow, that M4 is doing work. It's going to find the second kill too. This might start a rotation over from the New England Whalers side here, but they're going to have to get in through CT. Omniscient tripling up. My God, I think I just go ahead and, you know, keep the camera on you, Omniscient. He is not stopping. DJ, unfortunately, the timing will evade him. And DJ, Christ, he gets 3 as well? I mean, it's a T-Tours moment for me, but I just quite honestly did not expect him to pop off like this. Oh my God, I don't get a chance to think, man. Ethereal, that was their round to lose. Omniscient, he couldn't do more if he wanted to. The only reason DJ probably killed him is because he's had an unfortunate timing. But DJ is incredibly low, within 1-shot range of, hell, even a Glock. So perhaps this is actually a winnable clutch. He's playing back plat, basically the best possible place he could play at this point. I'm not even sure if Nox even wants to begin trying to temper the beast before he eventually gives himself up. Oh, flash in. Perfect play. DJ with a quad. He holds down the site single-handedly. Sure, it's against at least a little bit, you know, some pistols and stuff like that. I hear some people complaining about lag. I'm not dropping any frames at all, and I don't see any in-server lag. So I don't exactly know what's going on. Sorry about that. Either way, I hope it figures itself out because it has been smooth for me. And it's been incredibly smooth sailing for New England Whalers as a whole. So, you know, I'm just going to try to experience what they're going through. 11 for Pwn alone. Oh, that could have nearly been number 12. Just hairs off of being able to conclude that frag. But that's okay. He can back up safely. And now, New England Whalers are one man to the good. Push-up catwalk begins, and Nox is going to go ahead and start it off, ignite it with a lot of flint and steel behind it here. We're bringing it back to Minecraft days, baby. They'll allow the plant to go through. New England Whalers, like, the reason that they're so good is because they know exactly when to push, etc., etc. They're incredible at this sort of foray into the latter parts of a round. DJ has a nigh impossible situation on his hands. But Omniscient, I think, is playing this pretty geniusly. The push is coming up through CT, keeping that in mind when the minimap comes into play. Omniscient is watching the line as well, and this should be the first round drops. Rampage. Excuse me? He's just better at the game. What? What happened? I looked away at it for what? How do they actually make that retake work? I mean, Rampage getting those 2 was great, but then Pwn alone gets a frag on top of it. New England Whalers, they're just unwilling to be defeated. A 3v2 with barely any time on the clock in New England. I swear to God, I don't know what they're putting in their clam chowder or whatever they eat over there, but they're absolutely messing it up. That was the best chance yet for Ethereal. We're 7 rounds deep into this, and we haven't really seen anything kind of make its way that late until that instance right there. But still, with barely time on the clock, New England Whalers will somehow snatch away the round in that retake. And And, well, hey, they'll remain flawless. I baffled I'm actually saying that. Pwn alone is just nasty. He's going to get boosted up by his friend. Go ahead and make that A-plat yours. Powers with a very risky entry. Doesn't even have anybody to watch his back. KMZ trying to get a tag, but thing is, there's more where that came from. Pwn alone, perhaps a little bit ambitious, tries to take a peek that he can't exactly win, so Hate will trade him out. And finally, it's again a situation that should be for the Ethereal side. But Hate has given up his head. Eventually, he gets a kill regardless, but think about how much effort it takes, man. The only time it feels like New England Whalers drop around is because they just kind of let it slip by between their fingers. Pwn alone went for a very spooky kill there. I appreciate it. It just didn't quite work out. Are they seriously going for a cap boost? Oh my god. They don't need to do it. This is going to be great if they boost into lower. No, they're just going to be watching for it. They don't need to do any fancy setups. Good for Pwn alone to go ahead and hide his hitbox. And then he'll go ahead and let that frag happen whenever he's ready for it. Good shot from him. Things are just continuing to look good for the New England Whalers, aren't they? Aren't they, excuse me. Ethereal are fighting back relatively well, but there's only so much they can do. New England just really have these crossfires on lock. Eventually, it will be broken down a bit since KMZ gets involved and trades down 3 players. However, those are the only kills that Ethereal have gotten this entire time. Hate was basically halfway across the map. He rotated all the way through T-spawn up towards long. Has 3 sets of utility. A flash, a smoke, or excuse me, a flash, a Molotov, and an HE, and one hell of a task. A 1-on-2. And there it is. Now double flashes. Is that going to make much of a difference? Perhaps. He needs to isolate a fight here, and that's why he's pushing past, extending his grasp on towards Catwalk here. Pwn alone spots it, and with a single shot will put him out. A Brazilian scoreline for us, as Ethereal are looking completely and utterly blown out. New England Whalers are just unrelenting. It was incredibly unfortunate timing. I saw CS Flux put that. It really was. Like, I mean, again, I don't necessarily think Hate did something wrong. It's just kind of the the way of the road, honestly. Unfortunate timing leads to yet another massacre, probably. As the guns aren't wonderful for Ethereal. They're really hedging their bets on perhaps a mid-split? Interesting. I mean, watching where they're gathered at the moment, I'm guessing a mid-B setup would be good. Last time they tried it, I think Rampage did a good job at shutting things down early, but last time he was over towards B, and I think he was A on that round they got massacred. I don't know, this is already looking a little bit different. I'm enjoying the change of pace, however. And Pwn alone is still unrelenting. He's up to 17 kills in 9 rounds, and this is actually starting to get to the point where I'm not sure if there's anything they can do against him just popping off so hard. Really, I mean, all systems are working just as intended for the Whalers. Rampage hasn't even had to do anything, and he'll be gifted a freebie. It's patient play. It's tons of kills. I was really expecting and hoping a bit more from Ethereal, but, I mean, God. I think it's just not even necessarily a bad part of the Whaler, or it's not even necessarily that Ethereal are playing bad. It's just that doing good Whalers are next level, man. It's starting to get absurd at this point. It's a very one-sided game. It's hard to say otherwise. Especially when there's just peaks like that from DJ. Oh my god, he's denning. Again? Really? Don't tell me you're going for 3, DJ. Please. I know, again, this is against pistols. I know this is against scouts, but when you just have this much confidence, it's suffocating, man. Again, I borrow that word, but it really does ring true. It's 9-1. And we're probably already a good majority of the way through this game. Absolutely absurd. I'm thinking like probably the best choice of veto for Ethereal would have been on Mirage. That's where they have their best win rate. 66% in their last 3 attempts on playing Mirage. But New England Whalers are no slouch either, as you can tell by how they're playing already. Just 4 players dead. This round, there's still a minute and a half on the clock, and there's so many players who are dead, man. ETHEREAL are doing good at trading themselves, so this is great, and what we really need to see. If Powers could somehow Molotov out Cat, things would be looking a lot more palatable. Right now, they can just kind of wait for Powers to exactly do anything. They could rotate bomb out if they so wanted. I think Powers is going to go ahead and try to sell an A fake here, maybe a drop into CT. There's a smoke. Yeah. And it gets out of control. Bursting their way up over towards B. Rampage. Well, has another wonderful task on his hands. Maybe he can spot one crossing and hit a banger. Okay, I'm not sure about the spray, to be honest. Powers is down to a single point of health, which I guess is pretty good, but it's not a kill. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a round that ETHEREAL needed. Theoretically, they could close out this half and make it 9-6, right? If we're talking theoreticals, that's definitely a possibility. Got a couple of early kills, and suddenly, baby, I mean, you got a stew cooking. But Rampage boosts himself up on top of the smoke mid. Go ahead and open things up very quickly yet again. ETHEREAL, basically the only thing they can do against this kind of style that New England Whalers are playing is trade each other out. Seems to be the only thing they can do, and if they don't, then Pwn alone is going to have a nice little day out. A day at the pool. It's Nox against 3. He finds the first one, the second one. It's going to evade him. These rounds are moving so quick. It's absurd, man. 19-5 for Pwn alone. There's no break. I'm wondering if ETHEREAL try to slow down the pace manually. That was a force-up from New England Whalers, but it seemed exactly the same sort of style that they were doing when they were on a rifle round, you know? Crazy stuff. Whalers have already pushed up Cat. Pwn alone watching in towards the lower tunnels, too. Okay, that's good. Oh no, ETHEREAL. Just nothing's going their way, isn't it? Unfortunately, the smoke beefed. Omniscient will eat it. Block it. That's NA utility for you, isn't it? It's hard to find myself kind of excited and expectant. Because I know at any point it seems that New England Whalers are ready to pull the trigger. That's a good shot, however, from KMZ. It tags down the monster Pwn alone. It's only 33 points of health, but there's more where that came from. Across that mid, Pwn alone still securing a kill. Still, he's doing it again. He's found 2. Time to keep the POV on him because he's not stopped despite being on critically low health. It's another collapse, man. At this point, it just seems par for the course. Eventually, it'll be Nox against the world. Good read on the crouch peek to at least secure that one onto Rampage, but pew, 11-2. See, thing is, it's not even like an 11-2 that's coming down to like really close clutches at times. It's stuff like that, you know? I mean, just incredibly one-sided affairs in a number of cases. I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad fault of ETHEREAL, though. I'll still stand by that one strongly. I don't think they're necessarily doing terrible. It's just Whalers are on a whole other level than anybody else in MDL. As I say that, ETHEREAL have effectively brought the fight to their own domain. Ben, who's been having a relatively quiet game, at least picks up number 4 to make it into 3 versus 2, but the 50-50 is one at mid in favor of ETHEREAL. So maybe this isn't impossible. 11-4 wouldn't be awful. It's definitely comebackable, you know? They're closer. They'll have a final buy for this final round. Should have a good set of util in their hands as well. Yeah. KMZ is the only one who maybe has to go ahead and, you know, cut corners a bit. But this buy is incredibly weak for New England Whalers. I just don't see any goddamn way they win this. Oh, that's one good start for them. The smoke is missed. Where's the smoke? What is this one, man? In case I scale up the walls, they're screwed, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god. Again, this round started with only a PT-50 for DJ, a Mag-7, and MP-9, and oh my god, Ben? Did he actually hit that one? I'm just baffled. How is this happening? No rules at all. Nothing ever makes sense. But there's a fight back. Omniscient has been, I think, one of the most secure players for the side of Ethereal so far, but even he is taken down by a just absurd push by DJ. It's 12-3 at half, and Christ, honestly, it doesn't even feel like that. It feels more like a 13-2 or worse, just because of some of the rounds we've seen. I'm trying to count. Let's see, how many convincing rounds were there? I'm genuinely struggling. Like, maybe there was one. I think I remember a round where they had like 3 players survive, and that was when they basically collapsed. You know, the one where they finished out Bentley at the end of it? That was pretty good. Otherwise, again, I'm struggling. At least they've gotten a couple of kills on their way out. I mean, for that last round of the half, the Whalers had to save. Well, force, to be more accurate. So, I mean, they at least have that going for them, I suppose. If they can keep these rounds close, maybe CT will be a bit more favorable for them. I don't know. When I'm thinking about things like this, I know times are dire. I was hoping this game wouldn't be one-sided, but, well, you can't always get what you want in life, can you? I still find it absurd to me that this got onto D2. I don't even know if they play a lot of D2 side of Ethereal. It feels weird to me. Well, let's go ahead and see if more massacres are going to be abound for us here. This has been absurdly one-sided. But I know Ethereal have the skill. I've seen each of these players individually pop off, except for Nox. I've never actually heard of Nox too much before, but he's been one of the more impressive players for Ethereal for me. A full send down mid is quite the weird way to start, though, I have to say, from Ethereal. This is one hell of a strat for your pistol. And if they're not watching their backs, they could actually get overwhelmed. Oh my god. Look, here it is. It's coming, DJ. Yeah, try to do something about this if you can, man. Oh my god. Wait, don't tell me. New England Whalers are running to B. Oh, this is so stupid. I love it. Rampage is just basically going to have to say, yo, Poet alone, stay alive for as long as you can. I'm going to try to do all the God's work down here at CT Spawn, but he gets nothing. Pwn alone, I've seen him win these. He got a 1v5 on a pistol on Nuke recently. I could see him doing it again. But maybe Ethereal can't. Okay, well. That's round number 2. That's, I suppose, confident for Ethereal. That was way, like... What in the hell? I don't think I've ever seen that. Sending 5 people up mid-strat on CT. I've seen like 2 or 3 pushing mid, but never all 5 and then wrapping around Cat. That just feels crazy to me. Okay, I suppose you can say New England Whalers are humbled a bit. It still doesn't seem likely that they lose this game, much less even lose this round. Okay, I'm starting to believe a bit more. That was a force up from the Whalers, I should mention. But again, kills happen so quick, so I don't blame you if you just couldn't quite catch it. B-Wills at 3 kills already has managed to trade out 2 of the members who have felled his teammates. And actually, what's scary to me is that this is winnable. Incredibly so. Hate was surprisingly the harder kill in that scenario. That's an NT from me, you know? Here, I'll type it, NT. I'm sure they appreciate it. Well, I mean, I guess Ethereal will have a bit of a comeback potential now. They've effectively broke the economy of the Whalers. The thing is, even so, they're still getting a scout into the picture regardless. And B Wills, he's going to continue to absolutely crush with it regardless. First kill found goes away of New England Whalers. And KMZ isn't doing too great. My God, never mind. I take back everything I said. A banger. Poor Rampage never saw it coming. That's not going to be his last surprise, however. Because the Whalers still are kind of inching towards victory. If B Wills gets this one onto, oh my God, onto KMZ, I was going to say there's a real good shot. But now I'm definitely starting to believe ETHEREAL are left stumbling a bit. Considering everything they had going into this round, it doesn't look all too confident. They're going to have to rely on these gunfights. But that's a worry. Relying on gunfights. B Wills is up to 3. What is this like, just insane solo efforts at so many different points. He's gotten all the kills in this round, man. Sniping Snake, I'm doing all right, man. How about you? I'm baffled about what I'm watching at points. I think P-Wills hits this. No, he hits a no-scope. Look. No. Ah, Pwn alone snacks it. Unfortunate. Can you tell I have, like, really high expectations when I'm saying, like, a player on New England Whalers is going to pop off, yet their team is just about to win in a full-on eco round? Like, I should be more surprised about that, but at this point, New England Whalers can't do much of anything to surprise me. This is such a difficult position for Nox to be in as well. He has no util other than that smoke he just picked up, tossed out. And, of course, in classic Pwn alone fashion, he's just sitting on top of it, ready. How do you play against this? I don't know. I feel frustrated, like, on behalf of ETHEREAL. I still firmly stand by what I'm saying, that they aren't exactly doing the wrong thing. It's just that for some reason, it's this Whaler diff. I don't know. When they can just get away with crazy entries like that, ETHEREAL need to sort of, I guess, trade things out, you know? And that's not happening. This time it's ETHEREAL with a broken buy. That smoke isn't quite the safe harbor that Omniscient was hoping for. But perhaps he can cross, or catch one on the cross, excuse me. That's KMZ down. I'll be damned. It's actually looking a little bit better. They've gotten this into a 3-on-3. There's one flank coming in deep through long. Should be watched by Pwn alone, however. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the phrase early. Pwn alone gets both. I can guarantee it at this point. There's one, and there's a second. Good stuff, Pwn alone. It's just, like, crazy to me. The right positions have just been always found. Bad times, bad headlines for the ETHEREAL crew, as they will be forced to, well, force. I'm wondering if New England Whalers go ahead and call out the fact that they only saw one cross. Because even with that information, they're still full packing it down over towards A long, and there's no one to greet them. Oh my God, DJ is just going to be granted with basically a free sight. He's tapping away at one player, the second one not. But ETHEREAL, maybe you should give them a little bit more respect to the name. They're fighting back with these Eagles. They're fighting back with these MP9s as they've gotten it into an effective 2-on-3. Despite Omniscient and KMZ not exactly looking wonderful, it should be theirs. No, with a Mag 7, actually, I don't believe. Pwn alone is just going to have to get completely bodied here. Does he get... Oh, he's looking away. That's sick. Great timing, I have to say. I think he heard that unscope and the run away. Oh, wait, no, Rampage already won. Can I ever stay on 1 point before a kill happens? Like, oh my God. Yo, Rustin. What's up, dude? I remember casting you, I think, yesterday. You were on Spot Up, right? Congrats on your upset win against SSG. That was sick, dude. Respect. It's about the end of the line here. ETHEREAL, I don't think I've really given us much to talk about when they're just kind of like Look at what New England Whalers are doing. This is absurd. They're doing a full-on B split while fighting 2 kills elsewhere on the map. It's farm. It's just a farm. Like, I'm only doing 1 game for today, but I'm actually partially considering trying to do another just because this one is going to end in record time. And there you have it. Christ. New England Whalers are looking angry at the moment. It's genuinely surprising to me. 14-0 now for the season. Not an unexpected result for them to win it out, but I was hoping that maybe a little bit more of a fight, you know, would be brought to them, you know. Yo, what's in that closet, Dursky Jackson? Can I do Kinship versus Eclipse? Is that not being streamed, Albrecht? Because if it's not, I will. What is it? Kinship Eclipse. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. It looks like ETHEREAL is covering it. I don't know. Do you guys want me to do it? Anyway, Closet Tour. Not really much. It's just basically clothes. But there is one notable clothing piece I want to go ahead and show off. Take a look at this one, dude. Take a look. You guys seen that Virgin versus Chad meme, right? Oh, come on. I bought the shirt. I bought the shirt. It's stupid as all hell, and I love it. I don't think I've worn it like once. I'm not usually good in those, you know, those wife beaters. I don't know. Do you guys want me to do that Kinship Ethereal or Kinship Eclipse game? I'm not sure if ESEA is actually covering it, which is the thing. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do it? Alright, cool. Well, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and go to a quick break. I'll see you guys in just a little while.